Okay, the last thing that we are going to learn is that when you have a line of best fit, you can write the equation for that graph or for that line. So we learned how to write equations for lines back in chapter 8. And we have this general equation, y equals mx plus b, where b is our y-intercept, m is our slope. That's what we learned back in chapter 8. Y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis. So I can look over at my graph and see, oh, hey, this is beautiful and nice. It crosses at 35. Now, something I want you to know is that it's not always going to cross at a beautiful number. It might cross somewhere and you say, I do not know what that is. You're welcome to make an estimate, right? We could estimate and say, oh, maybe it was actually 34 or 37. You might have a slightly different answer than maybe a different peer, and that's okay. But with this one, it's nice. You can tell crosses at 35. And it was a positive 35, so it's plus 35. Next, we need to find a slope. And here's another thing that's going to be tricky is that often in the line of best fit, there's not going to be a couple of beautiful, perfect points. So you're going to have to estimate. So for example, this, I can look here, that one looks like a nice point, 35 is what we said. If I look here, it's actually not exactly crossing the grid. And then as I look further on, it just gets further and further and further away. So none of them actually cross at a really perfect point. But we're going to go ahead and stick with this intersection right here because it's pretty close. So I know that it's just barely below 30. So I'm going to say it probably crosses at 29. That was an estimate, right? You might say, oh, actually, I think it crosses at 29.5. That's okay. Now let's find our rise and our run. Our rise is how much you go up. Well, we go from 29 to 35, so how much do we go up? We go up 6, so that's the top of our fraction is 6. Our run is how much you go sideways. Well, we have to look at our scale. I can't just say I go sideways 1. Look at our scale, it goes from 0 to 12, so I actually go sideways 12. Then, well, it's a negative slope, so I didn't actually go up 6 over 12. I went down 6 over 12. So I have a negative 6 over 12. Last step, simplify as much as you can. In this case, it goes to 1 over 2. So I know my slope is approximately 1 over 2. So my equation, or my approximate equation, is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 35. As you go through doing your practice, if you have questions about how to do this, this is probably the trickiest part of a line of best fit. Please watch some more of the videos below to get more help on how to figure out how to make a line of best fit.